Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome back to the Road to the Black Sea DLC. We are continuing our trip through, we're in Romania right now, we're headed toward Istanbul, and we did just sleep. We pulled in here last week, and we did just sleep, and I believe we can get where we're going today, and possibly even pick up another cargo and continue on our way. So, let's hop in here, fire it up. Yeah, 123k to go, won't take us long to get there at all. Right in here, lights on, brake is off. Here we go. So it's been, do we need fuel? We do not. So it's been an exciting 24 hours for me. I took a look around yesterday, and everything is on sale. It's 2 weeks till Christmas, less than that, a week and a half, 10 days to Christmas. So I took a look around at some of my local big box retailers, electronic stores, and of course everything is on sale. And I found me an HP Omen desktop, an Obelisk, great name by the way. I found an Obelisk with my specs on sale, unbelievably on sale. And I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. So we are on a new system, and I'll tell you what, man, I love my gaming laptop, but it is, when I got back into gaming, I had been away from it for a while. I was not up on trends. I did some research, but you can't really know something until you start doing it. I was in the mountain bike community for years, and people would say, I think I'm going to get a mountain bike. What kind should I get? And I would say, well, what kind of riding do you want to do? And they'd say, I don't know. What kind is there? And you can't really find out what you like until you do it, but you can't do it until you have a bike to do it on. So a lot of people, for their first mountain bike, and also for their first motorcycle, they just kind of get something, They just get a roller. And then later, a year or two down the road, now they know what they know, and now they know what they want. So I think for me, getting my first gaming laptop 2 years ago was kind of the same deal. I didn't know anything, but I know I needed to know something before I can know something. Yeah, I think you see where I'm at. So I'm super, super happy with what I got. It's an i7 7700 with a GTX 1050 in it. Not by any means a rocket, but it really, really treated me right for these past 2 years. Well, it was time to step up. And step up we did in kind of a dramatic way. Now, I say all the time that these sims that we play are not super graphically demanding. These aren't AAA eye candy ray tracing titles. And so I was able to push out my settings pretty far on that 1050 card, but whew, man, this is absolutely a revelation. We are at just about 100 FPS right now, and everything is maxed out. Now, we were nearly maxed out before. The only two things that were not maxed out on our settings on ETS is we had our anti-aliasing on high, not ultra, and we had our scaling on 300, not 400. But those two last little settings, I mean, they were pulling FPS down. That's why we backed them off. But those two little settings just smooth everything out, and this frame rate, my goal, as always, is to be above 60 FPS. Anything above 60, I really can't notice. I know people say they can. The science says you really can't. I think for some people it's a benchmark. If they want to be at 4K, 120 FPS minimum, that's cool. That's how they build their system, right, is based on that goal. For me, it's been 1080p 60, and I think I'm going to need to bump up to 4K P60, but I'm not hung up on 120 FPS. But man, the smoothness, the effortlessness, right? To feel like we're not straining at all, like we could just do this all day, it's really a cool feeling. And the game, I think the game looks significantly different just with those final two settings being bumped up. And this is arguably not an eye candy title itself, but I think it looks really, really good. I'm super pleased with the way things worked out. Price was phenomenal. It's modular, so I can expand anytime I want, and I just had so much fun. I spent about 14 hours yesterday, getting everything transferred over. And, it really worked out well because when that fan did start going in my gaming laptop, I was still up and running. I mean, I still am up and running, and I'll have the replacement fan, I believe, tomorrow. So the thing still runs, and I can still game on it. I'm just really leery about that fan. I would hate to damage anything, so I'll feel better when I get the new one in it. But in the meantime, it is running, and I immediately, when I saw that fan was truly going to be a problem, I immediately did a big backup to my external hard drive, which ended up being about 65 gig. And that's all my save games for any Sims that are not in the cloud. Where, you know what I mean? Where your tunes is not stored in Skynet. You got to back them up to your own hard drive. And also, more importantly, all my mods. And I'll circle back to that in a second. But basically, I did a huge backup at exactly the right time. And as I started bringing things into this new gaming desktop, everything went in really, really smoothly. And that sort of surprised me because the OS and some core apps and core functionality is on an M2 SSD. And then there's also a 2 terabyte spinner where everything else is. Now, I need to swap that out to a 2 terabyte SSD, but in the meantime, I wanted to get up and running. And I was concerned that as I was bringing in my save game, it would be pointing to the C drive, right, from my gaming laptop, and the new installations of these games, as I got them in there, they wouldn't know where to find save games, and I would have to go in and manually, manually redirect all these games to see a different location, D drive, essentially. But I think because I was installing the games themselves on the D drive, and the save games were in a relocated documents folder on D drive, essentially the game just looked, hey, look for save game in the documents folder on the drive that we live on. And because they were both C drive on the gaming laptop, and because they're both D drive on this system, it spotted everything. No problem at all. I was amazed how easily everything went in. And the save games that I was truly concerned about were ETS, ATS, and Farm Sim, because that's sort of the story series that we're doing. Race series, there's no real story to that. You can just do a race. So those save games I can recreate, no problem, as far as settings and that sort of thing. But the one that I was worried about was... Oh, yeah. The one that I was worried about, or the ones that I was worried about, were the truck sims and the farm sim, because those are the ones where we are sort of in the middle of a, you know what I mean? In the middle of a project. But everything ported in just fine. I couldn't be happier. Some of the race sims took a little reconfiguring, but the wheel went in, drivers, everything just smooth as could be. I mean, it took a long time, because downloading, I want to say I've got about 40 games on Steam. I installed about 15 of them. I didn't install the ones that I rarely play anymore. We'll leave those on the gaming laptop, but the ones that I spend a lot of time in, about 15 sims, and I got all those downloaded. Ended up being just about a terabyte for all those games. Games are getting bigger and bigger, man. Holy cow. I would never have thought that games, you know what I mean, like at previous points in my life, I would never have thought that games on a computer could take up a terabyte of hard drive. That is astounding. It really, really is. And these aren't even, AAA super big games. So that's progress for you. So I got the wheel all configured. Everything looks. I was able to push every single game and sim that I have. I was able to push everything out to Ultra and hold 100 plus FPS, with one exception, and that is Division 2, which is a AAA title, so that probably makes perfect sense. I had to back that down to high, and then a couple things I manually bumped back to Ultra, and I'm right at 60, not at 100. And what was the other one? iRacing, of all things. That 20-year-old game, 20-year-old. I don't know how you make that game look pretty. Maybe there's a way. I can't do it. But when I pushed everything out to ultra, it was really not happy, and that's maybe it's because of the physics. Physics are so intense, so had to back that down a little bit. But the thing about it is, it's really not a good-looking game anyway. Play it for the physics, not for the look. So when you back settings down, graphic settings on iRacing, when you back them down a little bit, it's like, who cares? You can't even really notice. But for sims like this and for Project Cars, is just amazing. It's so pretty to look at, and Assetto Corsa Competizione is gorgeous on ultra settings, and also Train Sim TSW 2020. I feel like I've not been doing that game justice on the settings that I've been playing it on now. It's from the time that it was released, it has been kind of a well-known resource pig, and I've had to back my settings down, not quite to potato, but it's mostly high with a few mediums, and to be able to push everything out to ultra and still hold those smooth FPS, that nice creamy, buttery 60 FPS where everything just sort of flows and there's no stutter or jerk. It makes that game look so different. I'll do a video for it this week for the other loco in that East Coastway DLC. We'll do another video for that, and you'll be able to see the difference. And in fact, what I may do is cut together two, right? So we'll have one from the gaming laptop with the old settings that you've been seeing, and then I'll do another one on this new tower, just to compare. I really do feel bad. I feel like I've not been... Oh, where do they want this? Sir? I feel like I've not been... It really hasn't been fair to that game. If you've been seeing my Train Sim World videos, you have not been seeing what that game looks like, what that sim looks like. Right, so we're going to get this thrown right in here, and then I suppose we'll pick up another job. Yeah, we're 12 minutes in. Let's get another job going here. So we'll straighten her out. Beautiful. Go third person. And yeah, I guess I could have got over a little bit more. Let's get this lift axle up. There we are. So yeah, I'm very pleased, and I was immediately looking at EVGA hybrid liquid cooled cards and thinking about ray tracing and thinking about all the things that I want to do to this system. It's still, like, every time it heats up, every time I start gaming and it gets hot, it's got that new computer smell. Like, that's how new it is. And I'm already thinking, oh, I need to change this, I need to do that, I need to, and that's just my nature. But at the same time, I'm sort of, I'm like dabbling in Buddhism. I'm looking for that transcendence, looking for that peace. Parking lights on. Shut her down, see how we did. Oh, we're late. How late are we? 5 hours. That's pretty damn late. All right. So we will continue. But we did just sleep, so let's look for a job. Here's our cargo market. We are... Take your time. We are here, and we want to go further into the interior. I guess we can go down into Bulgaria, too. So, it's Romania. This is Bulgaria. You want to take this one? This will take us through a couple of cities. Take us through Bucharest. You want to take this one? Yeah, and it's good money, too. 6,500 euro. Okay, let's do it. 34 minutes. If it's not close, we might not be able to take it. How far away is it? It's in the same yard. Okay. So we will be able to make it on time. For the pickup. Parking brake off. Lights on. There we go. So yeah, it's fascinating to me to realize that I have something that, I mean, I just got something that like exceeds all my expectations and meets all my needs, and everything is awesome. And the first thing that I think is, what, in what way can I make this inadequate to justify a need to improve it? And it's a strange thing to realize that contentment, it's such an elusive thing in this life, you know? The idea that we could just be happy with something. It really is, it's fascinating to observe, for me to observe, that I don't want to say make myself unhappy, but that I would continue, you know, to look for ways to need things, to want things. When it's possible that what I have is perfect for, definitely for today, and probably for the foreseeable future. Because I don't play those AAA games. This is actually fine, you know? Save your money. There was a book written, over 100 years ago, and it's sort of one of the go-to reference books for wealthy people. Like, if you have a lot of money and you have a kid, you give your kid this book, like, this is how we got our money, this is how we're going to keep our money. And I'm talking about like family money. And one of the things that this cat talks about a lot is save your money. SYM, do not spend money. So, you know, the best application of money very often is not spending it, but saving it. So it is fascinating for me that I want to improve something that still has the new computer smell. It's less than 24 hours old. Oh, what a world. What a world. All right, so we'll get back in here. We'll pick this up. It's possible that we're going to be taking the same 2 blocks of stone further into Romania. Wouldn't that be ironic? Go straight down here. I notice, on this sim in particular, I do notice, there's something I think of as driving between the frames. And when your frame rate is a little bit spotty, as mine has been at times, you will find yourself subconsciously or sort of automatically compensating for what you know is going to happen in the gap between this frame and the next frame. Even though they're going by very, very quickly, you don't have that smoothness in the game, and so you have to sort of make that compensation. Right. There we go. It's particularly problematic with racing games and shooting games where things are happening very, very quickly. Not the case. Oh, okay, we got one giant block of marble versus 2 other ones that we had last time. Okay, I'll take it. So we're going to go first person. 3 hours to get there. We may make it this episode. I'd like to, because then we won't have like back-to-back 2-part episodes. Actually get something done. So it's more of a problem in games where you're moving quickly and things are sort of critical, you know? Call of Duty, that sort of thing, right? Where you're aiming, and if your aim is off in the time that it takes to get from this frame to the next frame, then you miss and you get killed. A sim like this, it's not as critical, but there really is a difference in gaming between 30 to 40 FPS and 60 to 70 FPS. And there've been, I just saw a YouTube video not too long ago, is there an advantage to gaming at 120 FPS, like a tactical advantage in shooting games? And it was sort of inconclusive. But, you know, we're at least having the conversation. And I know in racing games, smooth gameplay is critical because you're trying to put the car in very specific places. And if you're sort of guessing where the car is going to land because you can't necessarily have continued adjustment every frame because of the not stutter, but you know what I mean, lag. So I am feeling a difference in the way the truck performs at this frame rate. versus our previous. And again, I think part of it is just the fact that this system is not straining at all. I feel like previously on the gaming laptop, when we went to high settings and ultra settings, we could handle it, but it was at the limit of the machine. And I feel like for this sim, you know, it ain't The Witcher. It's not one of those historically, graphically demanding games, you know, that just roasts your card. So I think for a sim like this, to be able to bump the settings up and have it just, you know, no problem at all, it's a really different experience to a game like this. And I feel very fortunate that things were able to work out the way they did. I feel very fortunate in general, just like every day, you know. It's an amazing life. It is. I don't mean mine. I mean everybody's. It's amazing. And you got ups, you got downs. You got good times, you got bad times. And when times are good, it's easy to forget to feel fortunate. But I definitely feel very fortunate. Not just about this system, but about a lot of things. As we're closing in on the end of the year, you know how you get, you know? Have yourself a glass of cognac and reflect a little bit. And there's a lot of good things going on. Oh, except for that little stutter right there. Forget it. I take back everything I said. I'm so mad right now. I'm going to order up an RTX card today. 2080 hybrid, liquid cooled. No, I'm kidding. Those are, when I was doing the research, one of the things that I found is there are particular cards that Bitcoin miners really favor. And that's why you'll see a lot of these places, like the EVGA website says several places, like a lot of these things have a 2 units per customer, 2 units per order limit because people are using them to mine Bitcoin. I don't know about that. I know we gotta get over right over here. Got it. I've studied Bitcoin a little bit. I've read about it a little bit. It is it's very interesting, and I'm not going to get into all of it here. It's way boring. But the goal all along was to see if people would ever see something completely contrived as a currency, and would it then take on all the characteristics and behaviors of an actual currency? And the answer is definitively yes. But there was also some philosophical overtones in there about economies of scarcity and just all the things that make an economy function. Could you duplicate that in an entirely contrived manner in plain sight and have people still take it seriously? The answer is yes. So as we're getting into the end game of an economy of scarcity, as Bitcoins are getting harder and harder and harder to mine, it's fascinating what people are doing to mine them, and I suppose still making money at it, but it's a bit of almost like in some cases a literal scorched earth policy, because there's apartment buildings in Eastern European countries. Every now and then you'll hear about an apartment building like burned to the ground and 100 people have no place to live because a bunch of fools in there were mining Bitcoin, and they had 50 machines set up with high-end graphics cards running like maximum speed and heat and intensity 24/7, and they burned up the electrical system in the building and like melted the insulation off the wires, started a fire, and the place burned down. So again, what a world. What do you even do when you get news like that? Like, hey, we're going to need to evacuate, the building's on fire. Oh, all right, well, that happens. You gather up your stuff and you go stand out in the street, you see your apartment building burned down. I wonder how the fire started. Bitcoin miners. Huh. Imagine that. So if you think you're having a bad day, at least that didn't happen to you. Or possibly, maybe that did happen to you, and then you really are having a bad day. But concentrating. I continue to be impressed with how this game represents different parts of Europe and how I can't necessarily tell where I am strictly by the terrain, but I can definitely recognize that this terrain looks so different than Scandinavia or the UK or Italy, you know, and vice versa. When we get back to those places, they're going to look so different. Did we want to turn there? No, we want to turn here. I really do like this game. I'll stop for that guy. Oi! Because he was not stopping for me. Are the drivers different in different countries? I swear they are, man. I feel like, however they maybe could have made it, maybe. Oh, sir. But that works out because he's now, well, he's blocking at least one lane for me. I feel like the developers have actually, like, replicated different driver behaviors for different regions, because I swear, man, people in Italy drive differently than people in the UK. And people in Eastern Europe certainly drive different than, well, everybody. Like everybody in the whole world. Alright, now we gotta get over. Not right now, but soon. Over here. Beautiful. Yeah, this is just so much smoother now. And it's really not that big a jump in FPS, particularly when we're out of cities. It just feels so much smoother and more effortless on the part of the processor and the graphics card. It doesn't feel like they're straining as they were. I'm also, I don't know, I'll have to check the replay and see how we're doing on fan noise. Bunch of fans, obviously. Gaming PC, there's fans everywhere. But I'm, you know, it's got the glass wall and the LED lighting. You know how it's 2019. Of course, it's got LED lighting, and to see all that cooling in there, it's not liquid cooled, but to see like just how much cooling is required, and then think you can get this same processor and same graphics card in a laptop. In fact, you can get, my dream system was that i9, concentrating, that i9 with the 2080. Yeah, getting those little hitches. Not happy about that. i9 with a 2080. And I think, man, if that doesn't cause heat problems, right? So it's amazing to me when you look at the amount of space and the amount of cooling in a desktop PC, and contrast that to how tight a laptop is, and think it's the same hardware. Like, they somehow cram that same hardware into a laptop and don't have heating problems. Well, all right, sir. I guess heat management is a bigger issue in laptops, but you know what I mean. It is sustainable. It's not like laptops are bursting into flame left and right. Right? They do find a way to make it work. But it's just so tight in there. And I guess what I'm getting at is, if heat management is an issue in desktops, how on earth do they sort it out in laptops? But something, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm over the moon right now. I'm so happy. Sometimes everything works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes it does. Where in the world are we going? All right. I'm going to go through here. This has got to be some kind of border control. Yeah, this is very Pro Mods. This has a very Pro Mods feel to it. I do like that they brought this into base game. So we'll go right through here. Good grief. Okay. And then up here. All right, and this says, looks like all trucks to the right. Yep. Proceed to the weight check through one of the two rightmost gates. Wow, this is getting like You know what I'm saying? This is getting more and more. Every DLC is getting more and more something. This is really, really cool. Time? 30 minutes. Okay, let's get through here. And then we'll either find a place to pull over or we'll see how long we have to go to deliver. Right about here. Good morning, sir. 6 a.m. Where are we crossing into? Moldova? Bulgaria? Oh, look at this guy out in front of us. You seeing this? Everything's in order. That's right. You know who's not in order? This cat in front of us, man. They got the back doors open. I'm gonna bring the dog over. In fact, let's swing. Just swing a little while. Oh my God, he's got the mirror going. He's looking underneath with the mirror. They got some pallets pulled out. Oh, buddy. Not having a good day. That's a very cool detail, by the way. The guy with the mirror on the stick looking under the truck. I love it. It's got to be the worst place to hide something is under a vehicle because you know they're going to hit it with that mirror on the stick. That's how they get you. At the moment, we have no speed limit. I don't know how fast we're supposed to be going. Wow, this is cool too. Hang on. Moment. What? That's beautiful. I would hop in photo mode. But we need to pause the game. We need to pause the video. Can't have that. Right. And then what is this thing up here? Is this more bridge? What? No, same bridge. Okay. Looks like a drawbridge. Awesome. Right, and we are in Bulgaria now. Beautiful. How far do we have to go? Let's see what we got. 99K. It's about 5 minutes. You just want to knock it out? Let's just knock it out. I don't want to do another 2-part video. Let's just knock it out. So we'll get rid of that. Alright. Oh my goodness. You seeing this on the mini-map? We got another little customs area to go through. Alright. Yeah, this is just so smooth. I can really, really feel the difference. Stay to the right. Oh, that's tight.
Recompute.
Alright. Been X-rayed. We're good to go. Yeah, a lot of really cool details in this DLC. This is very nice. Down through here, and I'm assuming we need to go through
Right,
another
and then turn right.
border control point. Okay.
Turn right.
Yep, I see one there. Curious if this represents a real area. I'm sure it does, but I mean, how real? You know, is this an actual? Is this simply representative of a typical crossing into Bulgaria, or is this like an actual letter perfect copy of a specific one? Pull right up here. Shows the papers. Let's see what we got here. No, not quite. How about right here? Beautiful. Got it. To go through, you must pay 10 euro. Press the following key. All right. Can have my 10 euro. There you go. And we got one more. They're going to ding us for another 10 euro. Maybe. I do see a place to sleep up here on the right, but I think I want to just keep rolling and knock this out. Yeah, let's do it. Start the border check. Press enter. I can do that. You can go. Everything is in order. Have a nice journey. Indeed, I will. So roll right through here. And no speed limit, but I'm guessing 30 or 40. And do a little merge over here. Get in right behind this guy. There we go. Beautiful. All right, and we are in Bulgaria.
Get ready to exit left. Exit left,
Exit.
and then turn right.
Exit
Turn
left,
right.
turn right. All right. And I think... Lights off? Yeah, I think we can do that. Right, so now we got a traffic circle.
At the roundabout.
And then from there, where?
Third exit.
Looks like third exit. Okay. Okay, over there.
Keep right.
And then out here.
Exit
Okay.
down.
Here we go. Go ahead and slide over. Here we go. We're on the road. I do need to go third person to see if our lift axle is up. It is not. And speed limit is 80. Okay, cool. We had 100K to go at that frontier. So I'm guessing we probably got about 70 to go now, which is just a few minutes. So we'll go ahead and finish this up, see if we can get it done in less than, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes. It's kind of long for a video, but like I said, I don't want to do another two-parter back to back to back. But we'll get back on a good cycle now. From here, we're going to need to go... I don't think we need to go north again. I think we can just sort of go due east, and that'll keep pointing us in the general direction of Istanbul. I'm really excited to see that town. Curious what they're going to do with some of the... Oh dear. Curious what they're going to do with some of the very famous historic landmarks. You know, that's something that I think is kind of a staple of ETS, is that ETS, and I guess ATS as well, is that they do have, even though the towns are pretty stylized as far as the layout of them, and it just has to be that way. I don't know that you could ever, you know, fully represent, like, say, the downtown area of Paris. The file size would probably be as big as the rest of the game and all the DLC combined. And you'd end up sitting there forever if you had dozens and dozens and dozens of streets, you know, crisscrossing one another, and traffic and gridlock and everything else. So they do sort of stylize the cities. Whoa. And they always seem to make an effort to have, like, the sort of the most iconic landmarks of that city represented on the horizon, if nothing else. So I'm curious if some of the very iconic things that you see in Istanbul are going to be visible at any point. We'll find out when we get there. Yeah, I'm still kind of impressed with that border crossing that we just came through. That was very, very well done. And I feel like I've seen the weight on this thing several times, but for some reason it's like, I just can't remember what our weight is. What was it? I want to say 40,000. Oh, now I have to look. Now it's bugging me. Go here. We go here. We go here. 22 tons. Okay. Oh, and now we're making it right. Get rid of that. Smack your knuckles on the desk. Oh, it's a comedy of errors. So we go right in here. Beautiful. Also wondering, still wondering, we'll continue wondering where we're going next. Is it going to be Russia? Is it going to be Spain? I mean, at some point, just geographically, we're going to run out of places to go, right? There's only going to be one direction left to go in, but not quite there yet. Still got a few options. But at some point, and I think I see, yep, starting to see up here our little marker on the horizon. Cool, we made it. We got, what did we get? We got one speeding ticket earlier. Yeah. Not too happy about that. And I will find a garage. I saw a little bit of, I guess that's just road damage on the truck and trailer. You just gradually kind of rack up some damage. Not a big deal. Right through there. Yeah, I think we made it. We'll be right around 45 minutes. More or less. Right through here.
Right,
I've still got the
and then exit right.
I've still got the speeding alarm set, the little reminder.
Exit right.
But I feel like it's not working, and I think it's because of a sound mod that I have. So I'm going to try disabling that sound mod and see if I get the tone back. I really need that tone sometimes. There's too much going on, and I forget that I forget to check my speed. That's the bottom line. All right, here's a test. It is raining. The lights are on. A little bit of a dip, but we're still, yeah, we're still doing fine. No worries at all. And this was, I think, these same circumstances with the laptop. We dipped from 60 at one point. The lowest we went was down to like 24 FPS, and that's when you can really see the slideshow, you know. It looks bad, and it really makes it hard to drive. So this is just such an improvement. And that scaling, man. That scaling is no joke. It's sort of a, you know, when you're setting graphics, it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like it's not a sexy tab. You know, who cares? Scaling, that's not.
Turn left.
But it really does a lot. And I'm curious what it's going to do for screenshots as well. I'll do that off camera as soon as we get done here. Lift axle is down, so we'll put it up. Slide right in here.
Turn right.
Turn right, okay. Yeah, these areas are just getting more and more and more complex in a good way. For sure, but you know, where is this thing? Looks like it's right there. Can I get all the way around the back? Yeah, I can. Okay. And in fact, this looks like it may be the same model as the place. Yeah, this is the same model, the same asset as the place we just picked up at. So we know this. We know this yard well. We were just in it. Beautiful. Right through there. Third person. Where's this one? Oh no. Oh no. Is it back behind this little rounded shelter? I bet it is. I bet it is. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, game. So we need to... Oh, we have 44 minutes. So much for 45 minutes. It's right back there, isn't it? Isn't it? You know it is. Well, we're just going to have to do it. I don't see where else it could be, unless that door opens when we get close to it. But I don't think they'd do that. Right, lift axle is up. Here we go. Yeah, I really hope it's back there. If not, I don't know where it is. It can't be in the next yard over, because that's a different entrance. Can you do this in cab? Can you? I can't. I can't even almost do this in cab. See that little white glow? Come on. It better be. Oh, whew. All right. And we will need to straighten it out. Maybe. 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 Oh. Oh. No. Yeah, we will. I try to get fancy there. You know, I'm always trying to get it in one swing and never making it, but there was no way that was happening. So we're gonna go this way a little bit. Yeah. Don't scrape the fence. Alright. 3 swings. 3 is the magic number we're after today. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. Alright. One more time. Here we go. Beautiful. Right. Set the brake. Wipers off. Parking lights on. Engine is off. Let's see how we did. We're on time. I think we got a few bonuses. Yeah. 6,500 euro. I'll take it. And we're getting close to level 18. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. We'll see you next time. Take care.